Hello and welcome to Simply Astrology. Well, I guess it's inevitable at some point we have to have a look at Elvis Presley and see what his horoscope says about his musical ability. Let's have a look. Well, one of the first things we can say is that Elvis Presley had one of the biggest audiences in history, and apparently he sold more records than anybody else in history. Now, with such a big audience, we're very interested in the 11th house. That's the house which has to do with audiences. And we see the perfect planet for this house is Jupiter, the planet of success. And I'm reminded of the masses of, frenzied women might be one way to describe it. Caught up, you could say, in a powerful hypnotic force, which fits very nicely with the energy of Scorpio. Scorpio, by the way, as many of you would realize, is the sexy sign of the zodiac. So we have here Jupiter, success through being sexy, and we find that it gets a good deal of support from the planet which rules Scorpio, and that planet is Pluto. And it's in the house of relationship. So you could say Elvis Presley was able to project a very potent sexual aura that in Cancer was very lovable, which landed in front of the audience and generated tremendous excitement and success. You'll notice too that Jupiter connects very nicely with his Sun, which is in Capricorn, so he's a Capricorn. But this is a great combination for success, provided, of course, he gets on stage. Well, Elvis Presley was a creative musical genius. And when we're talking about creative genius, we always have a look at Neptune. And here too we see quite a close connection between the Sun, his core nature, and his creative genius. Also, Neptune plugs in very well to the success of Jupiter. Very powerful combination for creative success. Now, of course, it's well known that the origins of Elvis Presley's music tie in very strongly to what was called gospel music. Now, gospel music is religious music, and again, Neptune relates to religion very positively. A lot of people talk about gospel music, and Elvis himself talks about gospel music pervading him throughout his youth and in fact throughout his life. It would be fair to say that there was a religious fervor or feeling within that which was perhaps in some ways even stronger. And when we're talking about powerful beliefs rooted deeply in the psyche, we look at Pluto and we find again the belief and power of religion all combined very effectively to help build and lock into place the tremendous success that Elvis Presley had. Now, one of the very interesting things about his horoscope is that millions and millions of people thoroughly enjoyed Elvis Presley's music, and yet there were many people who did not like him, and even as a child he was picked on and bullied. And here we have the planet, which relates to groups of people, and we see it's in a negative relationship with his Capricorn nature, and we see too that a lot of people didn't like his beliefs or his, for them, inordinately sexual performances. So we see a kind of a split between his audience and to some degree the rest of the world. Now, if we have a look at the planet which relates very strongly to music, that's Venus. We see it's in Capricorn. So again, we're getting the message that quite a number of people didn't like his music, his style of entertainment. They were against it. Mercury, his voice, right beside Venus, very appropriate for a singer. Again, there's a good degree of support from Jupiter and certainly from Neptune, Although the degree is weaker in terms of the connection, say, with Venus, nonetheless, over time, these energies were strengthened simply through a tremendous amount of practice. Basically, the resonance between the earth energy of Virgo, giving him a good masculine voice, blended well with Mercury in Capricorn, another earth sign, and again emphasizing masculinity. Well, there's a tremendous amount we could say about Elvis Presley, but we'll just finish on one final note. As a child, and in his early years, he was regarded as very shy. And when we hear about shyness, we have a look at where the moon is, and we find his moon is in Pisces, which is about as shy a place as the moon could get. And we see that for him, connecting with people in any sort of relationship would have been stressed, and Chiron, which rules relationships, has a stressed relationship with his moon, and it's quite a close degree, emphasizing its power. Further, Chiron is in Gemini, which is let's mix with people. Moon in Pisces says, oh no, let's not do that at all. However, ultimately his way out was to stand in front of an audience and express with great confidence his musical talent, his singing ability, and of course, his sexuality. At that point, he got over his shyness.